Hey, if you're looking to hire an advertising agency, this video will help keep you from making one of the most expensive mistakes in business, hiring the wrong agency. Or worse, hiring an agency that puts you in a contract for long term and is just a scam. You know, over the years, I've seen it time and time again. Businesses that think they own their website, but didn't read their contract and actually look at it and come to find out they are only leasing their website and they're stuck in multi-year contracts. Brutal. Every single day, I talk to businesses that are spending thousands of dollars on vague reports and excuses. They're just stuck. In this video, I'm gonna prepare you with everything you need to ensure you don't make the same costly mistakes. I'm gonna show you exactly what to look for, the major agency archetypes, where they fall on the 4-quadrant chart, and the red flag questions you can ask before you sign on that dotted line. And stay tuned, because at the end of this video, I'm gonna be giving away the charts, guidelines, and checklists that you'll need to really make sure that you make the right choice when it comes to a digital marketing advertising agency. So are you ready? All right, let's get started. All right, before we jump into the agency archetypes, I want to cover the two biggest hiring mistakes I see that people make when they're shopping for an advertising agency. Because if you avoid these two mistakes, you'll automatically avoid a lot of the bad players. Mistake number one: most people buy a service instead of buying an outcome. So they hire ads management or social media or SEO, but they never ask the most important question, which is, what is the plan to get me qualified leads or customers and do it profitably? Because running ads is not the goal. The goal is leads, customers, revenue, and ideally profit. So if an agency can't clearly explain how they're going to get you there, that's a huge warning. So mistake number two, and I see this all the time, people don't verify ownership and access. This is a big deal. You should own your ad accounts, your pixels and tracking, your analytics, and yes, your website and your domain. Now, sometimes an agency will say something like, we run ads in our account, or we host the website inside our system. And technically that can work, but only if you still own everything and you can take it with you if you ever leave. Because here's the nightmare scenario: you stop paying and your website disappears, or your ad account is locked behind them, or you lose years of data that you actually paid for. This is non negotiable. You own the ads accounts, the website, and the data. Take a look at this chart, and let's start with the best quadrant. This is the inexpensive but high value quadrant. And usually these are specialists with low overhead. The archetype here is the lean specialist. This is typically a small team or even a solo operator with a repeatable system. They usually do one or two services extremely well. Here's what they're great at: they move fast, they have clear deliverables, and they have a deep, narrow expertise in a specific area. So for the price, they can be one of the best values on the entire chart. The trade-off is scope. They might not be able to handle everything. So if you need full strategy, full creative, multi-channel, you might need multiple partners, and that can get tricky. Here's the red flag question that instantly identifies a real lean specialist. Who is doing the work day to day, and how many clients do they manage? A real lean specialist can answer that instantly and confidently. Now let's move into the premium quadrant. This is expensive, but worth it when you choose the right agency. The first archetype is the niche authority. This is an agency that dominates a specific vertical: healthcare, home services, business to business, plumbers, HVAC, DTC beauty, whatever your category is. Their strength is pattern recognition. They've seen what works in your market. They have category playbooks. They usually make fewer rookie mistakes, and they tend to have better messaging and compliance knowledge on top of that, which can be an important thing if you're in healthcare. The downside is they are premium priced, and sometimes they can be a little rigid, like, this is just how we do it. So one of the red flag questions you can ask to find out if you're working with a niche is, what's your 90-day plan for my business, and what do you test first? A real niche authority won't give you a generic answer. The next archetype to look at is the tool-heavy performance lab.
This is a performance and tracking heavy agency. They value measurements, dashboards, attribution, testing, CRO, that kind of world. Their strengths are they usually have a strong testing culture, they improve tracking and clarity, and they can be great for scaling and efficiency. But their weaknesses, sometimes they over focus on tools and they're just all about dashboards and not enough on the offer and creative, which is what actually drives performance. And if your foundation is broken, they might just be optimizing a broken funnel. One of the red flag questions we like to ask or we hear that is strong is, will we have admin access to ad accounts, analytics, and tracking? And if the answer isn't an immediate yes, be careful. Next, we have the senior boutique. This is a smaller agency where senior people actually do the thinking and often they do the execution too. They have some solid strengths. They've got great judgment, strong strategy and positioning, and typically better communication. But some of the weaknesses are they have limited capacity. And if you need a ton of production, like constant creative volume, they can get super expensive. One of the questions you're going to want to ask for that is, will the senior people I'm talking to be involved after we sign? Because if the seniors vanish after the sale, you're not actually buying what you think you're buying. Next, we have the big full service agency. This is the agency that can cover creative, media, websites, analytics, email, just everything. And that's one of their strengths is the breadth of their abilities. They have less vendor fragmentation, which is good for you, and they can handle complexity. But these big firms, their overhead is huge. There's always the risk of junior heavy delivery, and turnaround can be a lot slower. One of the questions you should ask is, show me the exact team structure and who is assigned to us by name and role. That question alone eliminates a lot of confusion. Okay, let's talk about the next quadrant. This is the really risky quadrant, and this is the inexpensive and low value world. Now, this quadrant is not always scams, but it is often limited or inconsistent. So I'm going to go over this pretty quickly, but if you want more detailed info on each of these archetypes, I'm giving away all the docs, checklists, and charts to help you save thousands by choosing the right agency partner. So first, we have the new freelancer. Their strengths are they're affordable and they're often hungry, and sometimes they're extremely talented. Now, their weaknesses, that's where I started off, is in that space. So I think that they have a lot of value for the right business, for certain businesses, and you got to find the right one. But their weaknesses are they have such limited experience. They've got fewer systems and super unpredictable outcomes. This can be totally fine for small contained projects as long as you manage it tightly. Question to ask is, what similar results have you produced and can I talk to one reference? Next, you have a small generalist, and their strengths are they're flexible, they can cover the basics, but they are wide and shallow, and they may not have deep expertise in any one channel. A lot of businesses get stuck at good enough here. One of the questions you can ask is, what are you best in the world at, and what do you outsource? Offshore shop. Production volume can be incredible. The cost efficiency can be good, but their strategy is often thin and communication can be brutal. And the quality with offshore shops is so variable. One of the questions you can ask to find out if you're dealing with an offshore shop is, what is your QA process and who owns final accountability? We have volume factories. They're predictable output and standardized packages, but they're templated work, and deliverables don't always equal outcomes. It can feel generic really quick. So one of the questions you can ask it to find out if you're dealing with a shop like this, an agency that's all about volume, is, how do you prevent cookie cutter campaigns? And what's your creative testing cadence? Okay, on to the next quadrant, the dreaded expensive but low value. All right, this zone is the danger zone. These are the agency types most likely to waste your money or trap you, flat out trap you. So first we have the middleman. They outsource everything and mark it up. Sometimes they can assemble vendors fast, and sometimes their project management is decent, but the weaknesses are big. You pay extra for a layer. Accountability gets really blurry and quality control can be weak. So one of the questions you can ask there is what percentage of the work is outsourced to whom? And can you show your QA checklist? Then we've got the bloated agency, huge teams, low efficiency. They look impressive and there are a lot of people on calls, but they're slow, expensive, and you get rework and misalignment. Ask this question. How many hours per month are allocated to strategy versus execution versus reporting? Bloated agencies hide behind meetings. Next, we have the brand name agencies' premium reputations, not always premium delivery. Their strengths are they're polished, internal credibility, stakeholder buy-in, but you might be paying for their logo. Juniors might do all the work, and value doesn't always match the price. Ask this: who will actually execute our account and what senior oversight do we get? Now, here's a dangerous one: the enterprise layers agency. Process heavy, slow, and expensive. Strengths are compliance, governance, enterprise coordination, but their weaknesses are layers of approval, slow iteration, costly handoffs. Ask this question: what is your turnaround time for new creative and campaign changes? One of the worst is the overpromise agency. It's sales led, delivery lagging. They have a great pitch, great claims, big claims, but they've got vague reporting, constant excuses, and that classic next month will be better. One of the questions you can ask there to weed those out are: what are the specific success metrics and what happens if we miss them? If there's no clarity, that's a warning sign. And finally, the straight up scam agency. This is the agency that collects money and delivers confusion. Common signs are they won't give you admin access, they control your accounts, they lock you into long contracts, they avoid transparency, and they show only vanity metrics. The question is this: do I own the accounts, the data, and the website? Yes or no? Written into the agreement. If they dodge that, just leave. All right, if you want a quick weed out list of the questions, here it is. If you ask these questions, you'll know what you're dealing with immediately. Okay, 1, will I have admin access to ad accounts, analytics, pixels, and everything we build? 2, do I own my website, domain, and creative assets? And if we part ways, can I take everything? 3, who is doing the work day to day and how many clients do they manage? 4, what's the 90-day plan and what do you test first? 5, show me one case study with numbers and context, budget, timeline, and what changed. 6, what is outsourced and what's your QA process? 7, what are the contract terms and how do I exit if it's not working? If they won't answer these clearly, do not sign. I'm going to make this really easy for you. I put together free research documents, checklists, and due diligence guides. You can download them using the link below, completely free. Here's what you'll get: a shopping checklist to score agencies quickly, a red flag guide to spot scams and bad contracts, a question to ask script so you don't get bullied or confused on sales calls, and a due diligence worksheet so you can compare agencies apples to apples. This isn't about being paranoid. It's about being prepared. These guidelines help you ask the right questions, spot warning signs early, and protect your business from getting locked into something you can't undo or wasting tens of thousands in agency fees without return. Thanks for watching, and God bless.